Hi, today is a major day on all levels, astrologically and also in the Mayan calendar. It's Monday, the 18th of October, 2021, and we're in the yellow sun wave spell. So we're in the very last 13-day process of the initiation in this Virgo 260-day cycle. We're seeing what's manifest, how much light we can hold. And the planet for yellow sun is Pluto. Yellow sun is the 20th Mayan sign. It's the ultimate goal, really, is coming into how to work with healing the shadow in order to activate the light body more and more, to clear off the old ancestral story. And so today we are on the 9th day of it, and the 9th day of every 13-day cycle is the gateway point. It's the potentiality to go to the next level on our spiritual path by healing what has come up in the previous 8 days. Yesterday, of course, day 8 was Blue Galactic Hand, and on every day 8 we are revisiting the previous 13 days to see what we've integrated, to see how we can create this shift. Soon we'll be going into the 8th month. That's coming up on the 23rd. And so in the next 52-day cycle of creating heaven on earth, we go into Scorpio energy. So here we are today, yellow star, and yellow star is the 8th Mayan sign, which again is about integration, integrating the previous 7 steps. The planet is Venus, and Venus in Sagittarius at the moment. So this focus is about integrating all our childhood issues, maturation, growing up, and acting in a way that's responsible, loving, respectful, and coming in alignment with return to the balance of the sacred feminine within. So here we are today. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you can see tomorrow we go into the manifestation day, which is a huge day for me, red planetary moon. And then we have 2 portal days, as you can see with these grey squares. So these are Akashic record. Tomorrow we have got full moon in Aries at 27 degrees. And that's going to be very significant in the coming months, because I was reading yesterday that we've got 7 moons coming up at 27 degrees, which I have never heard of before. So that's going to be huge. So if you've got planets at around 27 degrees in your chart, then these significant areas are going to be really highlighted with new beginnings in this particular one tomorrow. And so again, when we see day 11, this is about what we're letting go of in terms of ancestral patterning, white dog. And then on day 12, we've got blue monkey, blue crystal monkey. So again, getting clear so that we are becoming the divine child who's free and clear. And then on day 13, we've got yellow cosmic human, what needs to shift in our human being reality space. So today is a really important day to focus on the gateway that you're going through, being the star that you really are. And of course, the more that you get to know about your conscious codes your astral codes, your Mayan codes, and your karmic patterns, your ancestral patterns. You can see what's coming around again for a review and how you've been triggered in the past 8 days, what stories have been coming up for you. Very, very intense energy at this time, of course, as well, because the Aries moon is the warrior. It's the storyline. It's connected to Mars, and we've got Mars in Libra in its opposite sign at the moment, which again, in astrological terms, that's talks about Mars being in its detriment, because it's having to do it's having to be the diplomat. If it's, you know, in that true energy of Libra, balance, the shadow story, the respite, time to relax and heal. And in our society, that isn't really promoted, is it? You know, so that's a challenge in itself. So the Mayan sign today is Yellow Warrior, or Sib as it's known. And you can see that spiral path, which is a crook. In terms of the planet, it's Saturn. We've got Saturn direct now at 6 degrees of Aquarius. So again, bringing us into balance. This is the 16th Mayan sign. And as such, it's a mastery sign, mastering the heart path, surrendering to what our spirit is taking us towards on a journey of coming into peace, coming into balance. And we're at the last few degrees of Libra now. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. And so that is card number 10, manifestation. And I'm just going to bring that up. So as always, I'm showing Eli's thread here. And you can see very powerful images there on the Wheel of Fortune. We've got the Sphinx at the top. So what is manifest in your life right now? Where are you? What's happening for you? Where are you having light shed on your journey? And where is the shadow? And the shadow is the source of all light, of course, because it's where we've learned teachings from our ancestors and belief systems. And that's what this whole 260-day cycle is about. What do I believe? What's the reality that I'm living in? And how have I come to live in it? And most of that is inherited from belief systems from our ancestors. And the human beings that are doing the self-development and most importantly, the self-healing, know that that is not truth. In the next 10 weeks, 10 months, there'll be new opportunities for creating fortune in the querent's life. Life is moving and being busy here. So breakthroughs in prosperity and abundance are approaching fast. So this is a good luck card. And remember, having the courage to live your life. Again, I was listening to a great sermon yesterday about that. We have ways of perceiving in our amygdala, specifically, that hold valuable lessons. As human beings, we've evolved over, who knows, millennia, so that we can step outside the front door and make choices that allow us to stay alive. Now, some of these choices are our ancestors and they're out of date. Some of them are our recent past over this lifetime that, again, can keep us stuck in a shutdown of energy. And one of the great ways to change that is to activate our radiant circuits. So having fun, creating joy experiences, a lot of which have been stopped, of course, over the past, how long is it now? Since 2020, isn't it really? We've been stopped going to concerts, we've been stopped going to places that we love, with people that we love. And so finding a way to really activate that again, going out in nature, whatever you can do that feels good for you, to really appreciate being alive and letting that sunshine radiate through in whatever way that is for you, and how you want to re-navigate your storyline right now, rather than keeping on with your ancestor storyline, which was perfect for them. And so keeping the wisdom of their journey and not getting stuck in it, because of course things are changing all the time and we're creating new ways of being at this time of returning to balance. So the Wheel of Fortune is yours. Remember the holograph that you are in, although it has a shared game plan on some levels, your individual plan reveals the path for you. Know thyself, to thine own self be true, and really start to focus on where you're limiting yourself, where you're feeling emotions around anxiety, anger, because these are always linked to past stories in your personal life as well as your ancestors. So if you start to heal them, and I use emotional freedom technique, check that out if you haven't already. It really works. And it's an amazing tool that you can use every day to liberate yourself from anything that's limiting you and holding you back. In terms of the moon today, this is very significant because in the Mayan, we go into self-existing moon today. So we start a 28-day cycle of being self-existing, and self-existing is really about becoming free of codependency, of unhealthy, imbalanced relationship. Can I stand on my own 2 feet? What do I turn to when I'm feeling triggered, when I'm having a challenging time? And again, these are all survival mechanisms. And at the same time, a lot of them create a great deal of harm for us as human beings. They're not healthy, and they create sickness in our body. They allow us often to stay in situations that we really need to be moving out of, around narcissistic relationship, for example. Lots going on around that in the work arena, of course, at the moment. Lots of people challenging that now and seeing the truth of it. Some people not there yet with that, and they will maybe need to be squeezed a little bit more on their personal freedom until they realise what is happening. So we're building to this full moon in Aries, and today we have, at this time, we have the moon in Aries at 4 degrees. So I'm just going to read you that. A cup overflowing with clear water. Magic when someone is ready and willing to stand there and allow all of existence to stream and pour through them. They shall activate the forces of magic, the return of wonder, and the feeling for what can be. Abandoning yourself to the frequency of boundless discovery in naive, raw initial disclosure, exhilarated, ecstatic, triumphant, unable to contain yourself one moment longer. So enthusiastic and alive that you must find kin, playmates to go places with and cut loose together. A state of being that begs to be shared, that must be spoken, invoked and honoured. It's a release point for a flood of new impulses And when given full momentum, it rallies, inspires, sets the world on fire, and laughs so delightedly and uproariously that no one can resist joining in. So fabulous, isn't it? Okay, so we've got today, the sun is at 25 degrees of Libra. And when you add those numbers together, again, that's the magical, mystical number 7. And so seeing our destiny around balance, fairness, authenticity as we go through these last few degrees of Libra. Where are we being pulled into balance? Mercury goes direct today at 10 degrees. So again, that really ties in to this card, the manifestation. And this is significant for me because this is my North Node degree. And so again, knowing about where this activates in your chart is really key. And the women that I'm working with at the moment, that's what we focus on for every 13 days, is where this is in your chart and how you can really work consciously with it. We've got Venus in Sag at 12 degrees today. So again, that's the structure of the adventure, the journey, the Akashic record. The previous 260-day cycle was in Sagittarius, so we became very aware. Mars at 22 degrees of Libra today, so that's the Mary Magdalene code, and that's also matching Jupiter. So again, when you add these together, that's number 4. So we've got, just to paraphrase that, so we've got Moon in Aries at 4 degrees. We've got self-existing moon, that's moon number 4. We've got Mars at 22 degrees of Libra. We've got Jupiter at 22 degrees, also going direct today. And that's our spiritual story. So our warrior story, our spiritual story, and how we've experienced in this Mercury retrograde, going over old ground, going over old stories. That can be so challenging and so draining, and because it's so hardwired in to our reality. And it's so important at this time around sovereignty. Coming back into our power, coming back into balance within, and that's the key focus now as we go through from 7 to 12 in terms of the zodiac. We're seeing how we can stay in our center, how we are influenced by other people, how we do based on how we learned how to do that from our family, from our ancestors, from our culture. Chiron at 9 degrees of Aries, so we're stepping through that gateway today of new beginnings and seeing how we want our story to play out from now on. So over this last 52-day cycle that we're just completing now, we've literally got 3 days to go and 4 days, sorry, in terms of, because we're on day 9 today. Yeah, 4 days. So again, 4 days, the structure. If you choose, sit down and reflect on your initiation process of the first 52 days. See what your survival issues are. That was the first 13 days of a dragon. See what came to light around your empowerment issues, which is the 13-year cycle we're in, the moon goddess Ixchel. That was the second 13 days. Then working with those two, how did you learn new tools to shape your destiny? How did you do healing work for yourself? That was the third cycle. And then finally, in Yellow Sun, you're seeing what your story has been around all of this. You're seeing what the manifestation is. You're seeing your Persephone path, which is connected to the North Node. So every 18.5 years, we have a North Node cycle come around, And again, once we start to really work with this consciously, we become very aware of what our storyline is, what our challenges are. And instead of being in denial or suppression or avoidance, we can really start to work consciously with that, because we are becoming the conscious creators now. And as we heal, as we change, as we make different choices, then also the world that we are in changes accordingly. Our holograph, our little pixel in the bigger picture, starts to change. And that's when the magic really starts to happen. So the more and more people that come online with this, the more that they realize how it is actually human beings that change what's happening on planet Earth. And it isn't outside of us. That's the key. It's, this is the big misdirection around trying to control the outside. When we focus on the inside and we become very consciously aware, and this is what the Mayan calendar reveals. This is the magic of it. It reveals every day. So for me today, I'm back revisiting when I was 13 years old and what that meant for me, my big shift, and how that is happening again today. So it's bringing that macro of that year into the micro. And when you work with the 13-day processes in this way, it gives you that laser light information for you on a personal level. So if you would like more information about the next cycle coming up, where we are going to be creating heaven on earth based on what we have learned in the first 52 days, please get in touch with me. My website is flowwithjo.com. I'm only taking a very small number of clients on at the moment because of the dynamic of the shift that I am going through right now, which is amazing. Have the courage to live the dream and let yourself, as it said in the Aries moon, go into that flow. That's what White Wizard, the moon goddess, is all about, letting our destiny become embodied, because we heal and we trust the divine has an amazing plan for us at this time, and it's why we're here. Lots of love. Bye for now.